What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Basscast on BassEast.com. Super excited tonight to have Keith Combs on the phone with us, fresh off his third Toyota Texas Bass Classic Championship. What's going on, Keith?
Hey, Ricky. Not much, man. Just got it done. I'm on the road to the next one, actually, already. I'm almost in Russellville right now.
Well, man, I know we had talked before, and you said you thought it was going to be a good one for you, and you led all 3 days. Big bass, talk about it a little bit, about how you caught them, and I know you had some exciting stuff go on out there on the water as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was looking forward to that event. Lake Forks is a lake really about only 2.5 hours from my house, but it's a place that I just never go fishing and just didn't know much about it. I knew it was a big bass factory, but it has that slot limit on it, so it's just not one of the lakes that I grew up fishing tournaments on. Just never went there. But when I got there this week, I really liked what I saw. We still had a lot of fish on beds, but I just had a gut feeling that wouldn't be the winning pattern. Figured you'd have a target, more post-spawn fish. And for me, that means if I got a lake that's in a post-spawn phase and it's a big fish lake, that means pick up that crankbait and don't put it down. And that's really what I did this week. I had a variety of different ones from, like Super D, 10XDs, all the way up to Strike King 2.5. I mean, I had everything on the deck, but mostly I did rely on that fast, really aggressive cranking technique, and that's my comfort zone. So that's why I think Fork set up real good for me. It's a really neat lake. It's not clear. It's a really good color to get out and throw that crankbait in. It's just fishing good. I mean, when you look at the weights that set aside what I call, just look at what it took to get in the top 10. I mean, almost a 30-pound a day average. The first day there was 14 bags over 30 pounds. That's just pretty impressive right there.
No doubt. What was your big fish of the tournament, Keith?
The first day I had one that weighed 10-14, and that was the big bass of the tournament. I caught that one on a 10XD, and I'll tell you what, that was a little bit different for me. Those fish, some of those fish, I was grabbing schools of fish in 30, 32, 35 foot even sometimes. I couldn't get those fish to react to like a jig or, anything like that. The only thing I could get them to react to was something that was moving, swim bait, crankbait. And that big fish I had grabbed over a school that was in like 35. So I was actually long lining or strolling with a 10XD, and man, I don't really know how much line, but when he jumped the first time, I swear it was 100. It looked like it was 100 yards from the boat. So that's I can tell you what, it's pretty intense when you got one that big jumping 6 times before you can get him in. And luckily, he was so good and got him in the boat.
And how about yesterday? Anything exciting going yesterday out there?
Yesterday was probably one of the fastest flurries that I've ever been in. At Falcon or anywhere else. It was about midday. I was mid-morning, I guess. I went to my first 2 stops and blanked out, didn't catch any fish, and moved to my third spot. And I thought it would be good in there because I had left those fish biting on the first day. So once I pulled up in there, I think I made like 3 casts. On my first one, got the school fired up. It was every cast, just pure chaos. I mean, for 30 minutes, every single cast, I caught a 6 to 8 pound fish. I was cranking that 6XD, and that school was just rocking. It was, sometimes you crank that bait down on a real fast crank and you just kind of suck it in. It wasn't any of that. I mean, it was like cranking down, it hit the bottom one, not slack in the line. I mean, they have got it down the throat. That was one of the. That school of fish was fired up as much as I can ever remember having one fired up. It was so much fun. lasted for about 30 minutes, and then that was it. Today, never got bit on that spot. It's just weird how things happen like that.
Well, how about today? Anything exciting going today? And was there a time during the day when you were like, man, I just won my third Toyota Texas Bass Classic?
Well, really the first 2 days, I had over 30 pounds in the boat before 10 a.m. And today at 10 a.m., I had a limit for around maybe 12 pounds. I had, basically nothing. I had all fish that I needed to call. And I was concerned. I was thinking, man, I'm just going to absolutely give this thing away if I really get something going. And at that point, I was thinking, I got to pull up on a school of fish. I got to pull up on a school. I'm not going to just be able to pick off ones and twos. So I ran to a spot where I had found a school the first day on one fish, but it was a good one, 5-pounder. Moved again, another 5-pounder. Now it's getting to be around like 11:30 or so. Moved again, another 5-pounder. On my fourth move, I caught an 8. That gave me a pretty decent bag. That in my mind today, if I could go out and I could get 30 pounds, I'd at least have a shot. Pitching that 8 got me up there to around 26. I still had a 3-pounder. I made one more move, and that ended up being my last move of the day because I pulled up on a spot that had a giant school, and me and Mark Rose was also got on that school, and we just both sat there and just caught them, fish after fish after fish. And they were all quality fish. I mean, 3.5 ounces was probably the smallest one, and I caught one that weighed 8. Mark caught a 7. But it was just so many 4 and 5 pound fish. They had the hummingbird just blacked out, man. It was just fish from top to bottom. Wind was ripping in there. Mark's trolling motor went dead. I was able to hold, a little bit longer on the school, but he was just drifting. We caught those mostly on a swim bait. Just 6.5 inch shadowlicious on a 1 ounce head. It just they sink to the bottom, slow roll it back. Some of the most bone jarring strikes I can remember. I mean, just knock slack in your line, except the hood, it's 5-pounder. But there's always a chance. Anytime you set the hook on fork, it's going to be a 10 or 12, and they'll keep you on your toes because that's just some kind of fishery, man. If somebody's looking to head down to Texas to do some big bass fishing, that's probably the lake they want to go to right now.
Awesome. Let's if you could just kind of tell us about the rod and reel setup, and maybe line choices you were using throughout the weekend.
Yeah. On my rod, I used a Keith Combs signature series of KC 170 made by Power Tackle, 7-foot fiberglass rod. That was my cranking rod, and I set that up with 15-pound Seaguard Tatsu. Used a Shimano high-speed 731 Corrado reel. And I was burning that crankbait, but that's my setup for most all my crankbaits. That 15-pound line and that Power Tackle rod, of course. That's what I relied on from my 10XD all the way up to my all the way down to my 2.5. Now for the swim bait, I threw a PG 104.5 Power Tackle. That's just a flipping stick, but with that swim bait, we were throwing it on a 1 ounce head and had a pretty good sized hook for it in that head. So I wanted a pretty heavy rod, making long casts, fishing in 30 foot of water, and one with not slack in your line. You really want to be able to take up that line and get a good hook set drove in him. So that Power Tackle flipping stick did the job there. And on that, I used 20-pound Seaguard Tatsu and the same reel.
Unbelievable. Hey, on your crankbaits, Keith, are you making any kind of modification to them?
No. On that 6XD, the one I used this week with the chartreuse power blueback, that's the same one that I caught all my fish on down at Falcon early last year. If I'm going to be around some big fish like Falcon or Fork or something like that, I'm going to usually change out the hook to a little bit more heavier gauge wire hook. But no, that bait's pretty good just out of the package. Make sure it's running true, but it's just an excellent bait. It doesn't pull real hard, like some of the other deep diving crankbaits. So that's a good thing. You know, when you got a bait that'll still run to 18 to 20 foot of water, and that's what you can get on a long cast with a 6XD. You can get to 18 foot on 15-pound line. But you can it's still such a sensitive bait because it just doesn't have that much drag coming through the water, and that's very important to be able to stay in tune with your crankbait. And you know, if a fish is making a swipe at that bait, a lot of times you can actually even feel that. Sometimes that tells you to throw back in there one more time, and sometimes that's what the cast that ignites that whole school. So 6XD just a good around deep diving crankbait.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks a lot. I'm sure you're ready to get some sleep. And, hey, congratulations again. I want to know, this is a question for me, though. What finger is the third ring going on?
You know, I don't know, man. I got, they presented me with that second ring this past week, and then I'll have to wait till the next TTBC to get my third ring. But we had a little media day conference after that, and I slipped them both on, had a ring on each hand, and that'll probably be the last time I wear that ring. But they look really nice on the mantle, but I'm sure I'm proud of them, man. But to have three of them, that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. We're very proud of you too, man. Safe travels and good luck this week at Dardanelle.
All right, Rick. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call.
All right, Keith.